live. And last week I shared with you guys that the highest level of wealth is mastery, right? Not muscle, not management, not even mind. Mastery is the highest level of wealth. Why? Why is that? Because people um, do not pay the most for information. They pay the most for transformation. That's what mastery actually is. And this week, I want to take that really just one step further for you guys, because it's literally it's one thing to say that mastery is the highest level of wealth, but it's another thing to ask, what is mastery? What is mastery? So how do you recognize it? How do you extract it? And most importantly, how do you turn it into something you can create, you can package it and use it to serve other people? That's literally what mastery is all about. How do you extract it? How do you package it? And how do you use it to serve other people? And that's literally what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about turning mastery into creation, right? Because mastery, if you look at what's really hidden inside, you may say, look, what I've mastered is something that has really blessed you, right? Blessed me to be able to be here to share. But mastery itself, if you look at extracting it and organize, can bless the world, not only just bless you, but you can literally bless other people. So again, welcome to today's live. And I'm really glad that you guys are actually here. And today we're going to talk about turning mastery into creation. Last week we talked about the four levels of wealth, and we said that the highest level is mastery because mastery creates transformation. This week I want to really take it into a more of a practical sense, that because a lot of people hear a message like that and think, that sounds powerful, right? But what does it actually really mean for me, right? For you, as you're watching this, how do I know what my mastery is? How do I turn what I know, what I have lived, and what I do so naturally into something that creates value for others? That's where what we're going to be diving deep into today. So to transition from last week I said something very, very important. At the muscle level, you basically sell effort, right? Implementation, you're the one that generally does it. At the management level, which is the second highest level, um, that is leverage, right? You leverage effort. It's still implementation, but you're not doing it. You're delegating it to other people. And then the third level, highest level, is mind. The mind level, you teach your knowledge. This is where you're educating other people. And at the mastery level, which is the highest level of wealth creation, that's where wealth really, those who are really wealthy build their wealth, is because they really create transformation for other people. That's literally the shift. And um, but here's what most people miss. Mastery is not just about being good at something. Mastery is not just about having knowledge. Mastery is not just about having talent. Mastery is when something has become so integrated, you embody it so well, it's so integrated into you that you can do it without using conscious resources. That's mastery. You embody it, right? It's so naturally to you. It's something that you actually live. You are lived transformation, right? Because you can't help other people transform unless you have actually transformed yourself, right? That is what mastery is about. It's literally a part of who you are. You're not trying to remember it. You're not forcing it. You're not pretending. You become it. That is what mastery is all about. Um, so let's really define, really in simple terms. Mastery is living transformation so deeply that you can extract it and create transformation for other people. That is what mastery is all about. So it's what you do so well, so naturally, so consistently, that other people struggle to do it, but for you, it feels normal, right? It's unconscious competency. And that's why so many people miss their actual own mastery, because what is most valuable in you often feels most obvious to you. You think wait, that's just common, right? That's just common sense. That's just what I do. That's just how I think. That's really easy. What's easy for you is not easy for other people. That is mastery. Um, let me say that again. What is natural to you may be transformational to other people, to them. And if you don't learn to extract it, you'll keep overlooking the very thing that God put in you to create value for other people. So why do most people miss their mastery? Because most people miss their mastery really for three reasons. The very first reason, it feels too natural, right? Because it comes so easy. You assume it has little value. That's mastery. Second is they only respect what was hard to learn. They think that if I didn't suffer to learn it, it must not uh, be worth much, and that's not true. And then third is they've never taken time to extract it, which is why we're actually here today. They've lived it, you've used it, you have benefited from it, but you never really um, slowed down long enough to really organize it. That's really where we're going to start today, and that is what and what is not organized cannot be multiplied in other people. So if you want to turn your mastery into creation, you must learn to extract what it actually is in you. So, and this framework that I'm going to share with you guys today is really going to give you the ability to create. There are seven things you need to extract, right? I call them the seven P's of mastery. The very first P is proficiency. Second is passion. Third is purpose. Fourth is problem that you actually solve. Fifth is payoff. The sixth is people who you're actually called to serve. And then the process that actually belongs to you. That's your framework, your method, your actual way, right? So let's really dive into every single P here. And what we will start with proficiency. Proficiency is this is what you know, what you know so well. People come to you for this all the time. Your people are asking you questions. You're coaching about it. You're sharing. You um, you do it so unconsciously with what you know. You're able to 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 answer or to give value, right, or to create value or to share so naturally. But it's again, it's not naturally for other people, right? Proficiency is what you know, what you understand, what you have gotten really, really good at, what you can do without competence and clarity, right? Because it's literally you're competent at it, you're really, really clear at it. It might be unclear to other people, all right, but it's not to you. This includes knowledge that you've actually gained, skills you've actually developed, lessons you've actually learned, patterns you have actually recognized, wisdom that you've earned through experience. So ask yourself, what do I know that creates value? What do people ask me for help with consistently, right? What do I understand that others are still confused about? Your proficiency is not random. It's not, right? It is actually a part of you, and it is literally your greatest asset. So proficiency, right? So because what you know matters, but only when you know how to use it for someone else, right? What you know matters, but only when you know how to use it for someone else. So proficiency is the first part of mastery. The second part is passion, what you actually love. The second P is literally something that you are in love with. What it energizes you. It pulls you, right? It's what literally pulls you. It's not push energy, it's pull energy. It's what you can talk about for hours without being bored. As a matter of fact, it's something that you love so much that you actually would be willing to share, or talk about, or coach people on, um, or consult people on, or create from, even for free, right? Because you love it that much. So passion alone, though, is not enough, but passion does matter, because when proficiency and passion come together, you get power, right? It energizes you. When you love what you do, you stay with it longer. You go deeper into it, you sharpen it more, you serve from your overflow of abundance, not through obligation. So ask yourself, what do you love talking about? What do you love solving? What do you love helping people understand? Because passion is the fuel that keeps mastery alive. So the second part of mastery is passion. Then the third is purpose. Purpose is essentially this is who you are and why it actually matters, why it matters to you, why it actually matters to your audience as well. The third P is purpose. Passion is what you love, right? Proficiency is what you know. Purpose is literally who you are. This is your essence. And if you look at the questions that you can ask yourself, why does this matter to you, right? Why does this matter to you? Why am I called to this? Why does this burden me? Why does this light me up? Why does this feel bigger than just making money? Purpose is where identity and assignment actually come together. I call it spiritual assignment, right? You're doing something that is in alignment with your actual assignment. Um, this is the part where your life starts making sense. Your story, your scars, your lessons, your convictions, your values, all of that begins to actually connect. Passion tells you what you enjoy, purpose tells you what you are here to actually carry. You're stepping into your purpose, you're stepping into your actual calling. That's a third part, which is your purpose. And then the fourth is problem. Problem is literally it's what you can solve really, really, really well, right? Um, this is where mastery becomes practical. This is where you can actually start applying it as well. Because no matter how gifted you are, if you cannot identify the problem you solve, people will not know why they need you. A gift without application stays inspirational. That's it, right? A gift without application stays inspirational. A gift applied, though, to a real problem becomes very valuable in the marketplace. Very valuable to your audience, very valuable to your potential clients, and definitely very valuable to the client to say yes to you. So ask yourself, what painful problem do you actually solve? What confusion do you actually clear up? What struggles do you help people move through or away from? What obstacles do you help people actually overcome? So be very specific with this. Not I help people be better, right? You got to be more specific than that. Better how? Better at what? Better for whom, right? Because the marketplace rewards clarity, not generality, right? It's the problem you actually solve, you become a specialist, not a generalist. So that's the fourth part of mastery, which is the problem. Then the fifth is payoff. What result do you help people actually get, right? This is the result. And once they get that result, they get the transformation. This is the transformation. This is the outcome. If problem is what they are trying to get out of, payoff is what they actually get. They are trying to get into. They're trying to transform into. They're not buying your time. They're not just buying your information. They are buying a result. So ask yourself, what payoff do you help people get? What changes become part of the work that you do with them? What is the difference uh, that happens to them and how they actually feel when they get to the other side? That is the payoff, right? So the payoff may be clarity. You might give somebody clarity in their life, their relationship, their business, their work, their finances. You could give them confidence. It could give them more clients. It could give them more cash flow, right? Healing, peace, health. They might, not only just lose 10 or 15 pounds, but they might feel and look more confident as well, right? It might give them freedom or even alignment, right? Even alignment, that is payoff. So because people don't pay you for your process first. They don't. Process is just part of the game, right? Part of the thing that they buy because they know that the process is the bridge between where they are at to where they actually want to go, right? The payoff is literally getting there and you're helping them. The process is helping them close the gap. That's pretty much it, right? So that's payoff. The pay for the payoff, they believe your process can actually produce, right? They pay for the payoff that they believe your process can actually help them produce. Okay. Then the sixth part of mastery is people. Who are you actually called to serve? Right? The six P is people, because your mastery is not for everybody. If you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? You're called to serve a specific people in a specific way. And the more clear you are about who those people are, the more powerful your message actually becomes. So ask yourself, who do I understand so deeply? Who do I feel called to help? Who do I feel called to serve? What, who do I have credibility with? Who am I best equipped to serve? Sometimes the people you're actually called to serve are the people you used to be, right? Most of the time when you're actually creating an offer, you're creating an offer that you actually wish you actually had, right? That's why your story actually matters. Your story is an alignment, because then when you share your story, um, that you create this offer for the people that you're actually called to serve, because you were that person before, then it makes you a lot more relatable, right? So when you know your people, your message stops sounding broad and starts sounding very, very personal to them. And then the seventh step of mastery is process. How you actually help them get it, right? This is where mastery becomes transferable. A lot of people have transformation in them, but they don't have a process for delivering it, right? They can help people transform, but they don't have an actual process to deliver it. So they say, I can help people. Okay, but how, right? Your audience needs to know, how do you actually do it? What's your process, right? What are the steps? What is the journey like? What's the path? What's the framework? What is the path from problem to payoff? That's really what it is, right? The process is just a bridge between their problem and the payoff. Your process does not have to be complicated. It does not at all. It has, the only thing it has to be is clear. It does not have to be complicated. It just has to be clear. Because if your value is not organized, it cannot be multiplied. So turning mastery into creation means extracting your proficiency, what you know, your passion, what you love, your purpose, who you are, and why it actually even matters to you and to them. Your problem, what you actually solve, the pain, how do you help people move away from pain as fast as possible? And then the payoff, which is what result do you help people actually get? And then people who you're actually called to serve. And then the last P is process, how you actually help them actually get it. And when these seven things get clear, something very, very powerful happens. You stop saying, hey, I'm trying to figure out what to do, right? You know what to do. And you start saying, I know what I carry. I know who it's for. I know the problem I solve. I know the transformation I create. That is when mastery becomes creation. That is when creation becomes an asset. And that is when the asset creates impact. It also creates income, and ultimately it creates freedom and fulfillment, right? It creates impact, income, freedom, and fulfillment. So how do you apply this for yourself? Let's make it really practical for you. Okay. um, Take out a notebook. That's what you want to do. Write down the seven P's: proficiency, passion, purpose, problem, payoff, people, and process. Write those seven things down. Then answer one question under each of them, just one, right? Proficiency. What do I know and do so well, right? Proficiency. What do I know and do so well? Passion. What do I love? What am I in love with? Third is purpose. Why does this matter to me? And why does this matter to my audience? Problem. What do I actually solve? What's my solution? How do I help people move away from pain? Payoff. What result do I help people create? What do they get? How do they feel? What's their transformation look like and feel like? People. Who am I actually called to serve? Process. How do I actually help them get there? Right? Don't overcomplicate this. It's very, very simple. That's how you actually, by answering these questions, you're already starting the extraction process in order for you actually to turn into creation, right? Because clarity comes through capturing. By answering these questions, you're just capturing it. That's all you're actually doing. So, and once you've actually written down these seven things, Start turning them into one simple statement, right? Here's a statement I want to give you. I help people, whoever you're called to serve, solve problem, whatever problem you actually help them solve through this process, right? Like my purpose to passion framework, for example, so that they can get, right? So that they can build a 7-figure business, right? That's payoff using the proficiency, using my 20 years of entrepreneurship experience, right? I've developed around what I love and what I'm actually called to do. What I love is help people build wealth and achieve freedom. Build wealth without actually losing the freedom, right? Time freedom, most importantly, right? So that's really the I help statement. So I help people solve problem through process so that they can get the payoff using this proficiency that you've actually developed around what you love and what you are actually called to do. That is the I help statement. Okay. So that is actually just the beginning of extracting your mastery. So my message for you today is very, very simple. Mastery is not just what you know. Mastery is what you have actually become. It's not just what you know, what you have actually become. Okay. Um, and when you learn to extract mastery, you can turn into creation into contribution, contribution into transformation, transformation into assets. And you and I both know income always follows assets. You become the greatest asset and you're actually creating assets like a book, a course, coaching program, a product or service, right? Those are assets and income always follows assets. So that is the path. You do not need to become someone else, right? You do not need to copy somebody else's calling. It's your calling. You do not need to chase every opportunity. You need to extract what God has already put in you, your proficiency, your passion, your purpose, your problem, your payoff, your people, your process. That is your creation blueprint. That is how you turn your mastery into something that not only changes your life, but it changes the lives of other people around you, right? So if this message speaks to you, when you drop in the comment section, create, create in the comment section. And I'd love to know which one of the 7 P's do you need the most clarity on right now. So also type that in the comment section as well. So again, the 7 P's are your proficiency. What do you know? Passion, what do you love? Purpose is who are you and why does it matter? Problems, what pain, what problem do you actually solve? Payoff, what do you help people get? And then people who you're actually called to serve, and then the process. What's the process? How do you actually help people get there? So drop in the comment section. And if you know you've been sitting on mastery and you haven't been able to extract it yet, drop extract as well in the comment section. Um, and my team's going to be also putting this in the comment section for you, these 7 P's as well as your I help statement. Okay, so that is how you extract and start creating what you've actually mastered into creation, into an actual offer. So if you really think about it, that's your irresistible offer. When you actually can convey the message that I'm proficient at this, right? I'm passionate about this, is what I love, right? This is my purpose, my calling. This is the problem that I solve. This is the payoff that people get when they work with me. This is who I actually work with, who I'm actually called to serve. And this is my process. This is my framework. This is my method. This is my way. That is where you can extract your mastery and turn into an offer, turn into creation, turn into an asset. And like I said, income always follows assets. So next week, I am actually going to be sharing with you mastery is the highest level of wealth, right? Which is transformation. You're helping people transform. And today you learn how to extract your mastery and turn it into an offer with the 7 P's. And then next week, we're going to talk about marketing because you can be the best coach. You can have the best product and services. You can be the best business or best brand in the world. If nobody knows you exist, it doesn't matter, right? There are people in the marketplace already buying. They just need to know that you actually exist. So next week, we're going to talk about mastery. We're going to dive into the 6 traffic sources that you must master in order for you to gain visibility, in order for your audience, for you to build an audience, for people to get a chance to know you, people to get a chance to like you, people to get the right people in the right room with you that can trust you and ultimately go from just being a casual browser into building a belief pattern and ultimately turning into a buying customer that actually pays you because your asset is what you actually created from your mastery. And now they know that you exist. So then income always follows assets. So next week, we'll dive into traffic mastery. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Have a great rest of the day, rest of the week.